I'm Big Bear Mark, and welcome to this episode of The Bear Cave. With me today, I've got my good friends Nick Laws and Steve Scalone.
Hello. Hey.
Hi guys, how are we going today?
Yeah, really, really good.
Doing
Thanks
great.
for having me on again.
Good. Look, we're going to get a bit personal today. We're going to talk about relationships, and within the bear community, one thing I think I've found is that there's actually a lot of open relationships. Now, is open, I sort of want to talk about open versus monogamous relationships. Do you have a problem with open relationships, Steve, at all?
No, I'm actually in an open relationship, but I totally respect a monogamous relationship as well. I always think it's between the actual partners, the couples, and whatever suits whoever is fine by me.
Yeah, I think I'm actually in an open relationship as well. And Nick, do you find now? Nick, you're single.
Single.
So you're sort of.
I don't care.
You don't care. But does it make a difference to you?
Look, for me, it doesn't worry me. But I think for one thing, it's just like not the concern for me, but it's just like when you get ones where you get people that say they're in a monogamous relationship, and then you sort of like suddenly find there's interest on the sides. Sort of being expressed, I can find it can be a little bit of an awkward situation for people there. Look, if it's an open and honest, that's fine, but when it's just like a veneer of mahogany or whatever it is, it's one of those things that sort of like makes it for a little bit of an awkward thing. It's just like you say, open, be honest about it.
Yeah, when you're being deceitful, I think that's morally just not on. It's not right.
Yeah, and that's where it comes into play. I mean, if you're open, let's make sure that you tell the truth and you are open. You don't want to rock up and see the person's partner the next week and get
horrified.
Yes. That they're at you going, "You slept with my partner."
Yeah.
Have you ever had a situation like that?
No, luckily not. But usually, I think it's just a lot of communication in the beginning anyway. Well, as much as hooking up goes anyway in terms of communication. But yeah, usually you can kind of figure out what the actual honesty is all about. If they're not willing to meet at a certain time or they're being quite secretive, you can kind of tell.
You can usually tell that something is quite not right.
Exactly.
And I mean, I suppose, Nick, in this age of hookup apps and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, people aren't necessarily honest on hookup apps either about what their relationship status
exactly.
is.
I mean, it's just I don't actually use it myself, but I have actually sort of through Facebook and that sort of arranged a few little things here and there. But just a sort of side anecdote, did amuse me. I sort of met someone just recently and went to a venue, and then I found after sort of like back at the changing rooms again, he was already on the app again, organising the next person. I thought, sometimes there's got to be a courtesy to this sort of thing, you know what I mean? It's just like we've just finished there, it's just like, meeting up.
Wait till I left the building.
It's like, at least let's wait until we're out of sight.
Is that a real social faux pas, Steve, do you think? There's wait
know.
half an hour before you get to hook up or something.
It should be.
To me, it's the equivalent of rolling in the olden days with the dial tone phones and all that sort of thing. It'd be like rolling over when you finish, ringing up and saying, "Are you available?" Come on, isn't it along that sort of equivalent?
Yeah.
It's just so I suppose it's just been really open and honest. They're ready for the next one,
Yeah. Don't take it personally.
Exactly. Nick, do you think that being open in a relationship is a very bear thing to do? It's like, do you feel like there's a lot of bears that are in this situation?
I don't think it's particular to bears. I think it's like maybe just a gay community in general or whatever. It's just like, it's not just particular to bears. I think it's just like, I know people who aren't, whether they identify as bears or not, but it's, a bit of a hard one to say that.
Yeah.
Would you say it's about a 50-50?
I've never actually surveyed people.
Yeah, I know.
It's a hard number.
It's a hard one, but I would actually say that amongst my friends, it is almost 50-50, but I actually think in the more general community, I thought it might be, in the bear community at least, it might be a bit higher.
A bit higher, yeah. Well, I guess the ones that do tend to go on the scene, like places like the Laird or the Circuit and places like that, tend to be open, where more monogamous tend to be slightly more nesters and live in the burbs?
I do
perhaps?
actually know a few people
Don't know.
who are in the sort of monogamous ones where they purposely don't go out because they sort of like do have the concerns there that, you know,
It's
sort of
just
like going
not
out
their
onto the
lifestyle.
scene there. It's just like, you know, that's just like they're putting themselves out and available and that sort of things, and people might stray or the temptation might be there.
Yeah, the temptation of what is there.
It's just like, so making sure it's just like the home life is sort of on or whatever like that, and sort of like keep it out of the sort of scene of it all. So yeah, interesting.
So
Very
with
interesting.
open relationships, I mean, you think, I suppose everyone is going to be different in their relationships. In your experience, do you set fast ground rules about what is acceptable in your relationship?
Not at all, no.
No?
No. No, we have chatted about it, but no, we're quite honest about most things like that. I'm just trying not to give too much away. But yeah, essentially we tend to not really discuss it, but if we're disappearing for a few hours or so, we kind of know what's happening.
Yeah.
Because we have very different kind of faux pas as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah,
I mean, I suppose as was said, every relationship is different. And I mean, I know with my partner, we've got an open relationship, but we don't do much outside the relationship. It's usually only when someone's interstate or something like that.
Yes.
Which is because it's easier. Because I like to spend time with my partner, and I like to, I don't want to leave him to go off to a hookup. But if he's not around, well, that's different.
Fair
but being
enough.
single, you don't have that restriction.
Look, it's just like, it's just like single. It's just like awesome. Just like do what you want when you want.
Do what you want.
Just like, and how you want, wherever you want.
Do it, where you want to do
That's
it.
exactly it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Do you think this is going to be a bit of a revelation to some people that, that this is so prevalent in the bear community, to people who aren't in the bear community?
I don't know. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's a revelation. I think it's just like, we were talking before. It's just like the monogamy versus not has been around since before Jesus. We can say Jesus, can't we? It's just. So yeah, it's been around for sort of a long time. There, it's just like whether it be straight people, or whether it be.
Yeah. So if you were getting into a new relationship, would you be open to an open relationship, or is it you want a close?
It's interesting. It was just having come out of a relationship a little while ago there after quite a few years, and it was just like there was an open relationship there, and that actually worked out really well. But this time round, it's sort of wonder. It's just like I'm actually looking for something different with the right person, next time round. So it's just like I would actually question it, from previous experience.
Well, unfortunately, Nick and Steve, we have to leave it there. I've been Big Bear Mark, and this has been the Bear Cave. Thanks for watching.